Please let me know if you can. I'm sharing my slide. Please let me know whether you can see. Good evening, Lady Olushola. Good evening, Mr. Ashafa. Thank you for joining. Let me know in the comment section, or you can even unmute to let me know whether I'm loud and clear.
Yes, you are. I can see your slide.
Thank you. My name is Olushola Ashafa. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm an internal control consultant. Today, I'll be taking us through a session, a training session which focuses on the power of effective whistleblowing to reduce fraud drastically in your business. A report by ACFE, that is Association of Chartered Fraud Examiners, shows that 5% of revenue is lost to fraud yearly on a global scale. And looking at that staggering report of loss to fraud, that is one of the reasons we are having this training. Can you imagine for a bit when you see a whistle? I actually have a physical one here. When you see a whistle in any game being blown by the referee of the game, as an example, in a game of soccer, in a lawn tennis game, what comes to mind? You can unmute if you want to share. What comes to mind when you see a whistle being blown? And if you
For
prefer
me,
to share, yes, go ahead.
when your whistle is being blown, it makes you, it shows that there's either a problem, there's a need to pause and reflect, there's something that needs to be resolved. So everybody needs to pay attention, really.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You nailed it. It means there is a call for attention. You said that rightly, and that's so helps. Attention calling. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ashafa. I can see your contribution also in the comment section. So just as you've said, blowing a whistle in any game actually calls for attention, both for the person, the participants in the game, and even the fans, the people in the crowd that are there to enjoy the game. So in this session, I'm going to be, in order to buttress the point of using the power of whistleblowing to eradicate fraud in business, we are going to be looking at this outline, which is the essential features that an effective whistleblowing mechanism should have, and 3 ways to institute effective whistleblowing in a business. So these are the outline. And at the end of this session, you should be able to institute effective whistleblowing in your business so as to remove your business from that staggering percentage of 5% revenue loss to fraud globally. So we are going to be jumping right into it. As I have mentioned, that we are going to be looking at the essential features of effective whistleblowing. So I would want us to maybe respond verbally or even in the comment section. Imagine for a bit that as I am here taking this session, you want to call my attention to, let's say you can't see my slide again, or I'm muted. and I'm not aware yet. So, but you want to call my attention. What will you do? Imagine that I'm training you. You know that you were hearing me in the first instance. You were seeing my slide. All of a sudden, my slide goes off. You can't hear me. You can't see my slides again. You can't even hear me. Please, what will you do? I await your response.
I'll try and get your attention either by sending a direct message, a message in the inbox. If I have your number, I will also place a call to you. If it, I can also raise my hand, so you know that there's someone who's trying to get your attention. I'll explore all the possible ways to reach you and get your attention.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your contribution. Mr. Ashafa, what would you do if all of a sudden you can't hear me, you can't see my screen?
I'll be concerned if, for some reasons, you lost connection. And since it's an important training, I'll find all the means to get your attention. Call, phone calls. If I need to send someone across, I'll do that, whatever it takes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your valuable contribution, Lady Olushola and Mr. Ashafa. So in this session, we are going to be looking, just as you've explained, that you would look for possible ways to reach me, to call my attention to the fact that my objective of this training is being interrupted, is being tampered with, based off the fact that you can't hear me. That is the same way every business owner should see the issue of instituting effective whistleblowing. This is because as a business, people that interact with your business, both internally and externally, they are aware when things are going the wrong way. And most times they want to call the attention of the business owner. However, if there is no effective whistleblowing instituted, they have little or no way to get that done. So that shows that it is quite important to institute effective whistleblowing in your business. So that analogy, that example that I just asked you about, will delve into it well under these three ways to institute effective blowing. However, there are some key features that are important for a whistleblowing mechanism to be effective. And we'll be using this acronym, FUCA. F means fair and impartial. U means user protection. C means confidential. A means accessible. I'll give explanation to that. Fair and impartial means that whoever makes use of the effective whistleblowing mechanism, they want to be rest assured that the right investigation will be made and action will be taken accordingly with fair, in fairness, and there will be no impartiality with regards to that. User protection on its own and actually means that people that use the effective whistleblowing mechanism that you instituted in your business want to be rest assured that they can remain anonymous if they choose to. They want to be sure that they won't be blacklisted in the organization. Even outsiders, your clients, your customers, your vendors that make use of your whistleblowing want to be sure that they won't be getting a kind of bad treatment from your staff because they know that they were the one that reported the issue. Confidentiality is related to that also. People want to be sure that their secrets, so to say, because whistleblowing actually means calling attention to concern, calling attention to issues they observe in an organization, whether a private organization or a public organization. So they want to be sure that their identity remains confidential and whatever they report via your whistleblowing mechanism is actually confidential, that nobody knows that they are the one, and they won't bear the brunt of reporting. Then there is accessible. The whistleblowing mechanism must be accessible to people that will use it. When I get to the three ways, I would expand more on that. As an example, whatever mechanism you are going to be using, if you have a storefront, if you have a customer facing outlet, it should be boldly stated there. It should be boldly written there. It shouldn't be difficult for people that want to use the effective whistleblowing in your organization to assess and to report accordingly. That's what that seems to speak about. Just like the example, the explanation Lady Olushola and Mr. Ashafa gave the other time, that in a situation whereby my screen goes off and I'm no more audible, they will try means to get across to me. So we are going to be looking at three ways to institute the mechanism, effective whistleblowing mechanism in your business. The first one is dedicated hotline. So when you see this telephone, please let me know what comes to mind. The telephone on my screen. Just anything, no wrong answer.
Communication.
Okay, that's fantastic. Lady Olushola, what comes to mind when you see a telephone?
Communication.
Communication. Okay, so that's so apt. So when you see a telephone, it communicates communication. That means the transference of information to one person and the receiving of feedback. So this is one of the ways whistleblowing can be instituted, by using a dedicated hotline, such that a person, which can be the founder or the business owner himself, or a dedicated person, has an access to an hotline specifically dedicated for reporting concerns and issues of fraud in the organization. So that's how this works. Another way is by using a dedicated email address. Yes, by using a dedicated email address. So such email address is specifically for reporting issues of fraud, irregularities in the business. And the person at the receiving end of this email address has to be someone trusted and assigned by the business owner, or preferably the business owner himself or herself, depending on the size of the organization. Then there is the use of whistleblower websites. There are some websites that are dedicated solely for whistleblowing. There is one that is called Whistle Willow. So the way the website is designed, the features that I highlighted initially, confidentiality, staying anonymous, and the likes, they are embedded in this type of whistleblowing, such that any person can report fraudulent practices that they notice in their interaction with your business. And that's the beauty of it. So and it is important, as I've mentioned earlier, to make it visible, to put it in visible places in the organization. So I hope with this session, as I've highlighted in the beginning, that we are exploring the power of effective whistleblowing to effectively eradicate and reduce fraud in your business. A report by ACFE 2022 says that whistleblowing accounts for 42 to 43 accounts for detection of 42 to 43% of occupational fraud. So what that means in simple terms is it helps to detect fraud. And the good thing about instituting effective whistleblowing mechanism in business is the fact that aside from it from deterring fraudulent practice in business, it has the flip side of also preventing preventing the apart from the fact that it helps to deter fraudulent practices in business, it has the other flip side of preventing the fraudulent practice in the first place, because when people know that there is an effective whistleblowing, they will be willing to report accordingly. So far, the essential features are embedded. So I know that this session is quite short and will need further reading and further exposure to the power of whistleblowing. Here is the link to access a free guide that I created for the power in order to know how to institute effective whistleblowing in your business. You can access it on seller.com/WBG. That's whistleblowing guide. And I would like to ask, what have you gained from attending this session? So please, you can unmute or you can share in the comment section.
So for me, it has been quite an insightful session. It's really important to put in place the process and mechanism for people to communicate via the whistleblowing channel. Um, some organizations will have policies in place for that, but the process behind it is not structured enough for people to send in those communications. So as you mentioned, you talked about a designated email, a designated number. Some organizations use websites as well and all. Another thing that I know is critical is important for people to be able to trust the organization as well, knowing that confidentiality, the information shared is confidential and won't be leaked to anybody. So really, it's really a very insightful training. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being a part of the training. Mr. Ashafa, what have you gained from attending this session on whistleblowing?
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. Quite enlightening. I'll say Ms. Olushola has already covered a significant ground of what you talked about. What's actually popped out was the fact that the confidentiality bit looks very, very critical in the sense that if it's not guaranteed, everything could fall apart, because what that means is people know they can be exposed. And if they're exposed as a result of whistleblowing, it can have negative effects, so which means it can discourage others from coming in. So I see the whistleblowing as a pivotal piece of the entire process, such that you know and you are sure that you'll be protected after divulging or exposing issues within an organization. So thank you.
Okay, so thank you. For further reading, you can get my book, Thrive Leverage Internal Control for Business Success, on Movie Night. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for attending this session. Have a lovely week. Thank you.
Thank you.